Going up on News 15 at 6, volunteers came together to keep one of Lafayette's parks looking beautiful. Plus, an urgent call for adoptions from Lafayette's animal shelter, the reason it's overcrowded and what this means for the animals.
Right now we're tracking widespread showers and thunderstorms affecting Acadiana. We're going to get you those details in a second.
From KLAF NBC, News 15 at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Ryan Hennessy. Thank you for choosing News 15 at 6 o'clock. Our top story tonight, a big cleanup of a popular local park, all in honor of our veterans. The group Parish Proud leading the cleanup effort today at Veterans Park here in Lafayette. It's one of the most beloved parks here in the Hub City, and the organizations believed it needed a little revitalization. More than 30 volunteers showed up to make a difference, one paintbrush and rake at a time. Parish Proud representatives say their vision is to create a parish that is both vibrant and beautiful.
So Veterans Park is one of those communities. I mean, this is a park that holds a lot of meaning because it is dedicated to our veterans, but we've also worked in Girard Park because that's something that the school, a neighborhood, and the hospital all share. And then we're also going to be spending our Parish Proud Day 2023 all downtown.
And also happening this weekend, it's the final days of this year's Cajun Heartland State Fair in Lafayette. Those who come out are getting a taste of the fair's great rides, food, music. Shotgun Lily and the New Natives Brass Band were last night's featured live music. This weekend will be your last chance to check out the racing pigs. That sounds fun. Puppy Pals and the petting zoo too. The fair concludes tomorrow at the Cajun Dome. And our Storm Track 15 meteorologist Michael Crowley is giving us everything we know about that fair, if it's going to be still dry out there. Michael?
Well, right now we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms across Acadiana. We're going to get you those details. Just right now, we're tracking widespread showers and thunderstorms. The cap, which we call the limiting factor of what the storms can do for the day, has broken for today, which means we're going to be starting to seeing this action for the rest of the evening and going into the nighttime hours. Very intense storm over Oberlin thankfully has started to weaken, but as you go a little bit farther down to the south, you see Eunice is getting a little bit of these showers. We were looking at a lot of these storms possibly becoming severe, but as you can see, this particular storm that was headed towards Crowley looking very intense has completely fallen apart at this point, but we're still looking at a couple of these cells making their way near New Iberia. Abbeville has been under the gun for a while. This storm is just sitting directly overhead. Not expecting that to move anytime soon. Pecan Island is getting honestly doused by this storm that is perpetually just honestly staying over that one spot, seeing some very heavy rainfall and lots of lightning associated with these storms. And as you can see, New Iberia has seen brighter days. We're seeing a huge cumulonimbus cloud just taking up the entire frame. Almost all of the cameras around Acadiana are looking like this. We're seeing most of these showers and storms moving through, but thankfully they seem to be weakening just a little bit, but some of them are still firing up. We're going to keep an eye on them. But for now, Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. We will check back in him in just a little bit. Now, an update on a police shooting of a man by Eunice officers a few weekends ago. The state police this evening are releasing new details about their investigation into that shooting. Now, it all happened on May 19th in Acadia Parish, with a gunfire taking place after an hour-long car chase. The man was wanted on a felony charge in Carencro. Now, the chase concluded at a dead-end stretch of James Place near Perchville Road. LSP say 2 Eunice officers opened fire on the suspect after he drove his car directly at them. The man survived his gunshot wounds and has been placed back in jail. State police say the investigation is still ongoing. More details will be released in the future. Now to politics. Most of the 2024 Republican presidential hopefuls are in Des Moines, Iowa today to take part in a GOP Senator Joni Ernst's annual Roast and Ride event. The event kicks off a summer of cattle calls where Republican voters can hear from candidates hoping to win their support. And as News 15's Shelley Malashi shows us, the one big name missing from the event is Donald Trump.
The annual Roast and Ride in Des Moines brings large crowds of Republican supporters ahead of the Iowa caucuses. The event offers an opportunity for voters to meet the candidates and for Republican presidential hopefuls a chance to convince voters to support their bids.
I am running because I believe America can do for anyone what she has done for me.
Iowa plays an important role this next year. First in the nation test. I'll be here.
This is my time. I have a patriotic, a religious, and a moral obligation to do what I can for a country that's been so good to my family.
Former President Donald Trump did not attend Saturday's event, but the Republican frontrunner was in Iowa on Thursday, ramping up support.
There's no way I can lose Iowa. Overall, nationwide, in Iowa, no matter where I go, it's the best polls.
Former Vice President Mike Pence was at the roast and ride and is expected to officially announce his presidential campaign next week in Iowa.
The answer, Iowa, is strong, conservative, Republican leadership back in the White House.
While the election is still over a year away, campaign season will soon kick into high gear. The first Republican presidential debate is coming up August 23rd in Milwaukee. Shelley Malashi, News 15.
Kelly, coming up in sports, UL might face a possible elimination. The real Ragin' Cajun Will Heron will show highlights from today's game.
Acadia Parish Crime Stoppers, Crime of the Week.
Detectives.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, UL baseball was facing elimination coming into this afternoon's game in the NCAA Regionals in Florida. But as News 15 sports director and our real Ragin' Cajun Will Heron shows us, UL wasn't ready to see their season come to an end.
After Miami thunked Maine, the Cajuns would have to prove that they too could score a bunch of runs if they wanted to stay in the tournament. Second inning,
here's Brock into center field, and Louisiana grabs an early 1-0 lead.
He picks himself up a stake as UL gets on the board first. Still in the second, Caleb
through the left
Stelly
side, that's a base hit. Brock will be waved around third. Here comes the throw home. It is cut off. 2-0.
CJ Willis has turned now to pat some stats.
Over to first. Jenkins comes up with it. A run.
Handled easily.
Will score to make it 3-0. The throw down to second. Will get away, and now charging is John Taylor at third.
Trying to get the ball, doesn't see the left fielder, also going towards it, and they collide. The hits don't stop in the second
through the left side
Maine.
Again. That's another knock.
Hitting through the left field. That brings in another
Ragin'
run.
Cajuns.
Finally out of it. 4-0.
Back to the top of the order. Reyes puts a charge into that with a little blooper. That's going to get down for a hit. Roccaforte couldn't catch it cleanly. Around third comes the runner Marquez. And Maine.
Check this out. Still in third, Connor Higgs
runner goes,
makes the routine catch for the second out.
It'll stay up long
Catches
enough
the
for
main runner
Higgs. He records the
base
out.
and
Reyes
guns
goes
him
back
down
to
at
first.
first.
And he was doubled up.
The Cajuns scored 19 runs. Now, they should be playing tomorrow at around 11 a.m., Mother Nature permitting. Your real Ragin' Cajun, Will Heron, News 15.
Well, also in sports tonight, Lafayette Park and Rec partnered with the New Orleans Pelicans for the first annual Junior NBA State Basketball Tournament. More than 50 kids from ages 6 to 13 competed in the tournament that went on all day long. Representatives from Junior NBA and the New Orleans Pelicans were present and assisted with the tournament. Children playing in the league wore the Pelicans logo. Organizers say this is an effort to motivate and get kids active around Acadiana. It also gives the kids a chance to meet others with the same passion for basketball as them. Love that.
But then when you put on events like this that is statewide, I think it gives our kids a chance to mingle with other kids around the state and again, befriend kids and the exposure they're going to get. This will be on the New Orleans Pelicans network, and so kids will get a chance to see themselves on TV.
Well, we are very closely tracking some showers and storms moving into Lafayette. We have a couple storms just over Breaux Bridge that's starting to fire up right now. Taking a look at what we're seeing from the Hub State Tower Cam. Looks like they're firing up. We're going to be tracking them for you after the break, so stay tuned. Your Storm Track 15 weather is coming up next.
Welcome back. An urgent appeal this weekend from the Lafayette Animal Shelter. It's at capacity and overcrowding is becoming a serious problem. As News 15's Dricard Francois shows us, staff are actually hoping folks will step forward and adopt a pet.
Good boy. Good job.
Here at the animal shelter, there are 250 cats and dogs combined. And like our furry friend here, all are begging for a home.
You want a treat? Oh, yes, you want a treat.
Around this time of year, the shelter will see an increase in the number of animals coming in. If there's any animals coming in from Lafayette Parish, the shelter must make room for them.
As a municipal shelter, we are forced to take in every animal that comes in through Lafayette Parish. We are not a rescue. We try to maintain a no-kill status. That means that we try to euthanize less than 10%. But unfortunately, when we get overcrowded, we do have to have empty kennels for those that must come in.
On average, the shelter can bring in 50 animals a day. And because of the influx of animals plus adoption rate dropping, the shelter has been at capacity for quite some time.
We are at capacity now, so we are putting out a plea. We need to either adopt out the animals or we will have to create room.
To make much room as possible, Bork says workers have to put multiple animals in the same kennel.
Yes, but the kids that are housed together are from the same litter, from the same family, so it does help relieve stress to have them together. But unfortunately, we can't do that with dogs that don't know each other.
In Lafayette, Dricard Francois, News 15.
Well, the rain is still falling here in Lafayette. We are seeing a couple thunderstorms starting to fire up over Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, and Carencro, and portions of Abbeville. We're going to get a breakdown of the forecast in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Well, we spotted a little bit of something odd on our HubState Tower camera. You may, if you are driving around Lafayette, you may see something that looks a little bit like this. Don't panic. That's not a tornado. That is just what we call a very narrow portion of rain that is falling from some of these thunderstorms, and that's directly over Breaux Bridge as we speak right now. We're going to briefly go over all portions of Acadiana. Most of those showers to the north have completely fallen apart. Breaux Bridge under the gun as well as the parks. Lafayette looks like this shower is starting to diminish, but as we go down to Youngsville and New Iberia, still seeing some of those storms really clinging on, and as we go down to Pecan Island, still getting swamped by that storm near the coast. We're going to see most of these starting to dwindle as we go into the rest of the evening, but still a very stormy week ahead of us and evening ahead of us.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Acadiana, for choosing us this evening. We'll be back here at 9:10.